You might think cashews are just crunchy snacks sitting in bowls, but they are actually secret seeds growing underneath giant tropical fruits. Nature has a really wild setup for this. Long ago, these mysterious plants only grew wild in the dry forests of Brazil. Indigenous tribes roaming the area discovered this incredible prize hidden among trees with massive, thick, drought-resistant roots.
The whole arrangement is fascinating. You've got the cashew apple. Sweet, fragile, bright yellow and red. Birds and monkeys absolutely race to gobble it down before it spoils in the heat. But they completely ignore the hard, strange, gray bottom piece. The plant planned it this way. It's essentially a biological bank vault, locking away a prize behind impenetrable walls.
The parent tree simply wants to protect its developing seed at all costs. So it builds an outer shell filled with urushiol. That is a harsh chemical liquid completely identical to the oil found in poison ivy. It acts as a fierce chemical defense, causing itchy blisters and painful rashes if touched. The plant ensures forest creatures learn very quickly to leave that raw shell completely alone.
But ancient native people in Brazil figured out how to use fire to break down that harsh poison. Portuguese sailors eventually arrived, tasted the wonderfully roasted seeds, and carried them across oceans to plant along trade routes in India and Africa. The crazy part is those tough roots ended up holding dry, sandy coastal soils together during heavy storms. It is pretty wild to think about. Endless groves of these trees blossom in warm countries across the globe today, yet nature has a very strict process here. Every blossom turns into an apple, yielding the precious seed. Farmers literally have to pick the fruit off the warm ground just to twist that hard, gray seed off the soft fruit by hand. Those incredibly fragile soft apples usually spoil within hours. Since they can't easily be shipped to faraway stores, the fruit is mostly turned into local juice or just tossed away. Workers then collect the valuable gray shells in massive burlap sacks and spread them under the hot sun to dry. The heat makes the inner nut shrink away from the wet outer shell, creating tiny spaces for cracking, even though that poison oil remains trapped inside. Modern processing brings those dry shells into massive roasting drums. The intense heat neutralizes the harmful poison oil, making the tough shell brittle enough for precise cracking. In the past, the factory smoke carried dangerous fumes, so modern machines now capture and filter that harsh air to keep the people working there safe. The cracking process itself requires extreme precision to keep those nuts whole and valuable.
Because automated factory blades crush that odd curved shape far too easily, human beings still have to step in. People tap each individual shell manually. Workers must carefully coat their hands with plant oils and wear heavy gloves to protect against painful chemical burns from any remaining caustic drops.
It takes the careful hands of countless women in small villages working really long hours to protect that delicate seed. Even after the outer shell falls away, the seed emerges still wrapped tightly in a bitter, thin brown skin called the testa. It clings to the nut exactly like a wet autumn leaf stubbornly stuck to a glass window. It's just incredible to picture. To get that skin off, they bake the nuts in gentle ovens. That slow heat turns the skin loose and papery, allowing people to gently rub and clean every individual kernel completely by hand. They scrape away tiny specks with small blunt knives, slowly revealing that naked, creamy white, familiar shape we all instantly recognize. From there, it's all about perfectly sorting every piece by size, color, and condition, separating out the broken pieces for things like nut butter. The clean cashews are then packed into airtight cans or vacuum-sealed bags and pumped with nitrogen gas. That gas is vital to keep the healthy natural oils fresh and stop them from spoiling on the journey. Massive container ships carry these sealed bags immense distances across deep oceans to reach your local supermarket. Roasters then bake them again with sea salt or honey. And you will never find raw cashews in their shells at the store because the system is designed to keep you completely safe from that original poison oil. Inside that hard-earned seed is an incredible concentration of nutrients. It is packed with healthy fats, minerals, and proteins designed to give your body lasting energy. And, cleverly, engineers even collect the dangerous dark shell oil we talked about earlier to make industrial paints and car brake pads. Literally nothing goes to waste. Innovators are even discovering new uses for the sweet apple pulp, turning it into fruit leather, syrups, and plant-based meat to help communities reduce food waste. Meanwhile, massive global appetite from rich nations is completely transforming farming landscapes across Asia and West Africa to keep up with demand. Clearing diverse forests to plant huge areas of solely cashew trees creates immense challenges. This monoculture farming weakens local soil and harms wildlife. Plus, unpredictable climate heat waves and strong storms can easily knock the fragile blossoms off the branches before the seeds even have a chance to form.
That is exactly why rising global awareness matters so much. Conscientious choices are changing lives across the world. Shoppers are demanding better pay and safety gear for the processing workers. Supporting fair trade programs helps small farmers build better schools, while empowering chefs to create amazing dairy substitutes for countless people. Every cashew carries profound human impact. The cashew is definitely not a simple peanut. It is an incredible survivor that hides delicious rewards behind really tough obstacles. It demands generations of human patience, months of individual care, and farmers walking endless groves just to collect the fallen crop. Someone carefully roasted the brittle pod, tapped the hot shell, and peeled every creamy piece before cargo ships hauled it across the ocean and local roasters salted it. The entire process acts just like a massive planet-wide relay race, passing the baton all the way to your plate. How does this simple snack connect us to global cooperation and distant hands? Well, it is amazing to respect the biology, physics, and sheer human sweat behind our food. We must care for the workers, protect the living soils, and appreciate the tiny seed that spread across the globe. It just leaves you completely in awe of the world. If you loved exploring this journey with me, hit that like button, share this with a friend who loves a good snack, and subscribe to keep discovering the hidden wonders around us.